this World Zero Gear perk guide, all the help is from players. I asked tons of players, took perk guides from multiple players, and watched YouTube videos that talked about this topic and more. I am basically your researcher. I'm going to talk about what perks are good for your Zero Gear, what do other players think, and what is the least percentage you should put on your Zero Gear. So skip to the part you want to learn about. So if I were to make a Zero Gear perk guide from what other players have said to me, because it's probably more clear than just mentioning what every single player said, I don't think it's perfect. Here it is. Take note that I'm not talking about PvP or pets in this guide. Tier 5 perks for the weapon. Opening Strike, useless. Literal trash, doesn't even work. Boss of the Boss, useful. Elite Boss, use Mob Boss instead, might be bugged. Mob Boss, useful. For the armor, Fortress, useful. Some players think you should only use if you're bad. The other side of that is some players have mentioned that it is good for classes like Berserker, and they'll die if they don't use it even though they are good at the game. Glass, useful. Master Thief, useful / semi-useful. Some players say it needs a buff to be worth it, while others say it's what they main, and it is good for farming gear. For the normal perks, for the weapon, attack up, useful. Crit stack, useful. Life drain, useful. For the armor, damage reduction, useful. HP up, useful. Damage reduction and HP up are the most changeable I found, so your preference really. What I mean by this, it was either both are really good, damage reduction is better, HP up is better, or the other one is fine. Someone said that damage reduction is better by more players' standards. Players have also said that HP up when using glass because the negative 35% health is better. Others are like, damage reduction works great for glass too. So again, your preference. Rough Skin, useful / semi-useful. More players like the other ones more. This normally changes with HP up or damage reduction. Untouchable, useful. For both, bonus gold, useful only on farming gear. Bonus health regen, semi-useful. Bonus pet food chance, useless. Bonus ult charge, useful / semi-useful. A lot of players have different opinions on this. Most players don't actually recommend it to put on your gear. This perk is not good for archers, however. Bonus walk speed, useful on farming gear. Some players also recommend it for fast dodging, clear armor. Burn chance, useless. Resist burn, no one wants any resist, so that's including resist frost, resist knockdown, resist poison. Krubek said most players want the maximum damage, and others said the amount of time you use the resists is mostly world-based, so it's just not worth it. Shifted Argo, it doesn't always work. The perk is considered semi-useful, but it's still not recommended to put on your gear. So what do other players say? Okay, Grace K's opinion. This is our leader of the Venge Guild. Elite Boss and Opening Strike on weapons are the worst gold perk you can have. Weapon perks that are completely useless is anything except for Crit Stack, Attack Up, Life Drain, Alt Charges Meh, Boss of the Boss, and Mob Boss. Armor perks that are completely useless for PvE is anything other than Glass, Damage Reduction, Alt Charge, HP Up, Bonus Health, Regen, and Untouchable. I want to include the useful and useless in this video and things like that, if that makes sense. So yes, a ton of players gave me so much help, and I'm grateful, of course, but I will not be including them because it's just a lot. This video would go on forever, and instead I just used the answers to make this guide instead. All the perks. What do other players think the percentage you should go for that perk / what's the percentage that is actually worth it to put on your Zero Gear? And I'll explain this a little more, what I mean. I DM'd a ton of players that I know play the game a lot, know a lot about the game, and also some other players, and asked them this question. If you know, and if you have the time to answer, when is on all of them is it no longer worth to make your Zero Gear? I'll give you an example. Mob Boss. It's no longer worth it if it's under 27%. I really want to make this clear that it is the lowest you can go without being considered horrible. Keep in mind that some of these perks themselves are not recommended to put on the Zero Gear, but I want to include all the perks anyway in case you wanted to know. So here's what I got. For the weapons, legendary perks, Opening Strike, get at least 25%. Boss the Boss, 27%. Elite Boss, 28%. Mob Boss, 27%. For the armors, Fortress, 34%. Master Thief 34%, Glass 95%. For the normal perks, the weapon, attack up 6%, crit stack 13%, life drain 5%. For the armor, damage reduction 7%, HP up 10%, rough skin 8%, untouchable 18%. For both weapon and armor, bonus gold 15%, bonus health regen 5%, bonus pet food chance, the max, which is 8%, bonus alt shards 14%, bonus walk speed 5%, burn chance 7%, resist burn 85, resist frost 87, resist knockdown 85, resist poison 87, shifted argo negative 35%, and positive 35%. So a lot of players said just go the highest you can, just grind what you can, make it the best you can, which I totally agree with. But some players also do ask this question, what is the lowest I should go for my gear? And so this is what a whole bunch of players answered with. I took the majority of all the answers. In my opinion, I think you can actually go lower on quite a few of them, definitely if you're just a casual player. But that's just my opinion. Do what you think is best. What I will end this on my own note is that if you have one perfect perk but the rest aren't perfect, strive for semi or semi of semi instead. I'll explain this a little bit more. So first, semi-perfect in my opinion is 1% lower. But others think 2 or 5% or something like that lower is still considered semi. It depends on the player. I personally consider that semi of semi. And so yeah, have all the perks be around the same seminess, if that makes sense. So what I found interesting is Steadfast actually agrees with me, and they said I would only match perfect. I don't know why they said that exactly. They might not be the same reasons as mine, but I'll give you one reason why I say to match semi with semi and perfect with perfect. And this is because at this time, you'll find that you can normally sell or trade a perfect perk over your whole zero weapon or armor. So, sell that one perfect perk weapon and you can just buy a semi-perfect weapon and have 10 to 20 mil or around there left over sometimes. But this is more about selling, so I'll stop there. But I thought that might be interesting to know. What I will add to this is, again, it is sometimes, which is really important because for some perks that is not the case. If they're perfect, it doesn't matter if you switch them in and out. It doesn't really make much of a difference if you're thinking about selling and trading. Thanks for watching, and thank you to all the players who answered my questions. This perk guide wouldn't be as reliable just taking my view. Watch the next video in the series, Zero Gear Perk Builds.